Photosynthesis. Today, from plant life. Third chapter. Photosynthesis. Photo is a Greek word for light, and synthesis is means to combine. All living things need energy to live, and this energy comes from food. Plants get their energy in a different way. They use a process called photosynthesis. Plants take in water from a soil through their veins, which are called xylem. The water goes to the leaf. The leaves take carbon dioxide from the air into the plant. The carbon dioxide mixes with the water. Energy from the sunlight helps this process as this result in the formation of simple carbohydrates, a type of sugar known as glucose. This glucose is a plant food. It gives the plant energy to grow. The term photosynthesis was first used in 1898 by Bernays. Photosynthesis is the most common method for synthesis of food, which is done by all green plants. Water as a raw material. The green pigment present in the cell of a leaf is known as chlorophyll. Nutrition in plants. Green plants manufacture their own food by the help of photosynthesis. In this process, plants use carbon dioxide, water as the raw material. The green pigment present in the cells of a leaf is known as chlorophyll. Photosynthesis, a process by which green plants make their own food with the help of CO2 and water and chlorophyll in the presence of sunlight. Light energy. The process can be represented as carbon dioxide plus water giving glucose, oxygen and water. This is how photosynthesis is done. The main events that occur during the process of photosynthesis can be summarized as absorption of light energy by chlorophyll molecules, conversion of light energy to chemical energy, splitting of water molecules with the formation of hydrogen and oxygen, conversion of CO2 and into glucose. Stomata, the microscopic openings on the surface of leaves that allows for the easy passage of water vapors, carbon dioxide and oxygen. They are crucial to the function of leaves, as photosynthesis required plenty of carbon dioxide as well as release of waste oxygen for plants and excess of water vapor. Stomata means mouth in the Greek language. The main site of stomata is on the leaf surface, but they are found on all above parts of the leaves. The number of stomata are present in the plant depending on the environmental condition, such as higher light level and moisture or lower carbon dioxide level, their number increases in better environmental conditions to maximize the rate of photosynthesis. In warm environments, and particularly in air dry air, plants loses a great amount of water through their stomata, and in such conditions stomata closes and the rate of the photosynthesis decreases. This is done by the plants to save their water receivers. Mechanism of opening and closing stomata. The opening and closing of stomata is regulated by rigidity of guard cells. The stomata are open when the guard cells are rigid. Losing the rigidity in the guard cells, the stomata are closed. Structure of a stomata. Each stoma has two bean-shaped guard cells. They have inner thick walls as compared to outer walls. When the guard cells are full of water, they swell and bulge outwards and stoma opens. When the guard cells lose water, flaccid, they lose their rigidity and the stomata closes. Function. Stomata helps in the exchange of gases between the cells and the atmosphere. It helps in the process of transmission. Essential raw materials for photosynthesis: chlorophyll, water, carbon dioxide, and solar energy. Carbon dioxide is a raw material used for the formation of glucose. Land plants obtain CO2 from the atmosphere through the stomata. Water. It is the second raw material for the process of photosynthesis. Plants absorb water from the soil with the help of their root system. Other materials such as like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, magnesium are taken up from the soil. Solar energy. For the process of photosynthesis, solar energy is needed. This energy is trapped by green plants. Green colored pigment called chlorophyll in the chloroplast. Factors affecting photosynthesis: light intensity, concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere, temperature and availability of water. Light intensity. The rate of photosynthesis depends on the quality and quantity of light. It increases with the increase in the light intensity. In blue and red lights, the rate of maximum, while in green light it is minimum. In very weak light, no starch grains and forms except by plants which grow in the shade. Plants growing under a thick forest canopy are available are unavailable are unable to receive sunlight. The intensity of light is low during mornings and evenings. Therefore, the amount of CO2 is released during the process of respiration is equal to the amount used in photosynthesis. This state is called compression point. Carbon dioxide. The rate of photosynthesis increases with an increase of concentration of CO2. Provides the quality of light is not limiting factors. It has been seen that very high concentration of CO2 cause the stomata to close. This prevents exchange of gases and consequently the rate of photosynthesis decreases. Temperature. The effect of temperature varies with the habitat of plants. The plants of cold climates have the ability to conduct photosynthesis at a much lower climate than those of warm climates. Usually, optimum temperature range for photosynthesis is 10 to 35 degrees Celsius. Up to 30 degrees Celsius, the rate of the photosynthesis doubles, which increase with each increase of 10 Celsius. 10. Extremely high temperature affects the activity of the enzymes and therefore the rate of the photosynthesis decreases. Water. Generally, the rate of photosynthesis decreases under water deficiency conditions. Only about 1% of the water absorbed by the roots is utilized in photosynthesis. Yes, water is an important factor. If water is insufficient, the stomach opens very little or remains closed. To prevent it further evaporation by transpiration, and because the stomata opens very little or remain closed, CO2 cannot enter the leaves, and therefore the photosynthesis is slowed down or stops completely. Due to the water deficiency, the protoplasm gets dehydrated, which affects the enzymes involved in photosynthesis, is thus decreasing photosynthesis rate. Structure of leaf revealing the region of photosynthesis. Most of the photosynthesis occurs in the leaves of green plants. The internal structure of the leaves specialized to carry out photosynthesis. The outer layer of the leaf is made up of a single layer of cells called epidermis. Facets can be seen just below the upper epidermis in a tissue called the palisade. After this, there is a layer of loosely packed cells called the spongy cells. The xylem transports water to the cells of the leaf. The phloem carries the food made during photosynthesis to other parts of the plants. The lower epidermis has small openings and called stomata through which the gases are exchanged. The two raw materials, carbon dioxide and water, are required by the plants to prepare energy food called carbohydrates. Plants also need the other raw materials such as nitrogen, phosphorus, iron and magnesium from the soil. Site of photosynthesis, chloroplast. Photosynthesis occurs in the organelles called chloroplast, present in the photosynthetic cell of the green plants. Chloroplasts are mainly oval body bounded by a double membrane, and their interior contains loosely packed fat and sacs of membranes, thylakoids arranged in plain grana, lying in colorless ground substance called the stroma. The pigment chlorophyll is contained in the walls of thylakoid. Chloroplasts are mainly contained in the mesophyll cell located between the upper epidermis and the lower epidermis, in flaccid cells and spongy cells in the leaves. Significance of photosynthesis. It is the primary source of organic food and energy, ATP, for all forms of life, either directly or indirectly. 2. Excess of sugar produced in photosynthesis are either stored in the form of carbohydrates or used in the formation of other organic compounds. Photosynthesis helps to purify air and also maintain the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the ecosystem. Photosynthetic process lead to the origin of life on Earth. It was believed that about 2 million years ago, when there was no life on Earth in any form, there was no free oxygen in the atmosphere. Thus, this process is called photosynthesis, was responsible for converting the totally anaerobic condition on primitive Earth into the aerobic condition present now. 5. Origin of fossil fuel is considered to be accumulation of organic materials which was formed by the deep burial of plants and animals millions of years ago. The energy stored in all these fields are basically solar energy. They are trapped and stored during photosynthesis millions of years in the primitive Earth. This was the chapter photosynthesis we have done today. Tomorrow one new chapter, respiration, will come. So please see that video also and learn about photosynthesis and respiration both. Let us just say to each other, bye.